After the first major project in one of your courses, you assign a reflection. Discuss what you learned from developing the assignment. How did your thinking change from beginning to end? And what patterns emerged during that work? But you get back a page or two of the usual filler from too many of your 40 students. Or to put it another way, 35 versions of, just tell me what you want me to say. Well, you're not doing anything wrong, and your students, most of them, aren't lazy either. Today, we're looking at how to turn around that resistance to reflection prompts. Hello again, everyone. I'm Stokes Schwartz, and welcome back to the Collaborative Café. Now, many of our students resist reflection partly because no one's ever told them why it matters. They've spent time in classrooms where reflection was busy work tacked on to the real assignment. So the first step is to name that skepticism out loud. But before you ask them to reflect, spend 90 seconds explaining the payoff. Reflection is what separates novice learners from expert learners. Now, a lot of that resistance is really just fear of getting it wrong. So your second way to get more students to buy into the idea of routine reflection on their learning is for you to lower the stakes. Low risk, ungraded, or lightly graded reflective moments, like 1-minute papers or exit tickets, for example, let students practice the skill without fear of skinning their knees irreparably on a major assignment that's worth a lot of points. By the same token, vague prompts like reflect on your learning invite equally vague answers. You need to make your prompts more concrete as your third step. Specific scaffolded questions like what strategy did you use? Did it work? Or what will you try next time? Cultivate the skill instead of just requesting it. Now, you might think that that's the whole fix. Better framing, lower stakes, sharper prompts. And they do help. But many instructors do all three of those already, and yet the half-hearted reflections continue to roll in. Why? Well, because there's a deeper barrier underneath the just tell me the answer mindset. And it's not always about motivation. Here's what's at the root of the problem. Many of our students haven't yet developed the metacognitive awareness to recognize what they don't know. The skill of metacognition has to be taught rather than assumed. Students can't reflect meaningfully on a process that they don't yet see. The way around that is to model your own thinking out loud. So narrate your own confusion, your own false starts, and your own uncertainty, in other words. That will provide students with a template for what reflective thinking looks like before you ask them to do it. To wrap up for today then, keep the following points in mind. 1. Name the why. 2. Lower the stakes. 3. Sharpen your prompts. And 4. Model your own metacognitive process to provide your students with an example of how to do it. That will help reflection feel less like another hoop for them to jump through. And best of all, with practice, your students will be able to monitor their own learning, something that research links to improved self-regulation and academic performance. You get more honest, more useful reflections from them, and students get a transferable skill they can use long after graduation. In our next program, we'll look at the complications that artificial intelligence brings to reflective learning and consider 3 moves that make responding to a prompt harder to fake. Talk to you then.